Today's topic of love, lust, and lies is dating mistakes women make that make them look desperate. I tell you how I came across this topic today was I got an email from one of my coaching clients, and that coaching client was saying, hey, Ken, I'm dating this guy, and here's some things I'm doing. And I text him this, and he texted this back, and then I text him, and I didn't hear back from him, and then I text him again, and so I said, hold up, stop it. And then I proceeded to tell her what to do. I said, because the problem is you are looking desperate right now, and men run away from desperation. See, it's counterintuitive. If you want somebody, you have to act like you don't want them. I know that makes it, you have to do the exact opposite of what it seems like you have to do. The exact opposite of what you would normally do. And so today I'm going to kind of educate you on that. I'm going to give it to you straight. I'm going to let you know how it works. So you don't want to look desperate, because desperate makes you repel the person. It makes you repel the person. All right, so let's jump right into it. All right, so the first thing I'm going to tell you is this. If you are looking to attract someone, say you meet someone, you like them, you feeling the person, and you think they are feeling you, and then, you like, okay, and you know how your emotions start running, your hormones start churning, and then all of a sudden you say, I like them, I like that person, and what you want to do is you want to begin to put your best foot forward to get the result that you want. All right, now come check with Dr. Ken Canion prior to doing that, because I'm going to tell you exactly what to do and what not to do. So the first thing, let's start with, if this were a book, let's start with the first thing, the introduction. First thing you got to do is you have to write down all of your deal breakers. Before you start dating anyone, you need to know your deal breakers. Why do you need to know your deal breakers? Because what happens is, and why do you need to write them down prior to dating? Because there are some things that you will put up with, but there are some things that are deal breakers, meaning no matter what, you are not going to put up with. Now, what makes people compromise those deal breakers is they've never really addressed them prior to, they've never written them down, they've never done anything. And then when their hormones start raging, they start to, well, he's a nice guy, he does this, which is on your deal breaker list. But because you have never written them down, you never talked about, you never addressed them in your own mind. So now what happens is you let it slide. You let it slide, you let it go, and now your boundaries that you created in your mind, he's already gone past those boundaries. All right? So the reason why I tell people writing down deal breakers are much like writing down goals. You know, they say 95% of the population don't reach their goals because they don't write them down. I write down all of my goals. What we're doing today, this love, lust, and lies, was a goal that I had that I wrote down. And now the goal has come into fruition because I wrote it down. And then once I wrote it down, I mapped out a plan to get there. Okay, and so what I want you to do is look at it this exact same way. If you've never mapped it out, then you don't know what to do. You're just haphazardly doing things. You're throwing it against the wall. That's not sticking. You're throwing it against the wall. That's not working. I'm going to date this guy. That's not working. And the truth of the matter is you've never outlined what it is you want, why you want it, and how to go about getting it. And that's just the fact. So you've got to write down your deal breakers first. Because, y'all, this is critical. We're going to do that in our class. In the class, we're going to write down deal breakers. We're going to go over, number one, you know what you want, but then you got to know what you don't want. I told them in class, I said, in building a brand, you build a brand based on what you stand for, and then you build a brand based on what you stand against. Most people say, well, I stand for this. Well, tell me what you stand against. Because what you stand against is just as important to your personal brand as what you stand for. All right? We're going to go over all that in the class. But today, dating mistakes you make. First thing we're going to do is write down our deal breakers. But then, let me go over dating mistakes that you make you look desperate. Because I don't want you to look desperate. Because the more desperate you look, the more you will repel the very person that you desire. First things, let's start with texting. Number one, since everybody texts to communicate. We rarely have conversations nowadays. We texting. So let me show you the things what you're doing while you're texting that make you look desperate. I call this, don't do the following. Number one, do not double text when he doesn't text back. So you text him at 7 o'clock this morning. He hadn't texted you back. So at 8 o'clock, you text him again. It wasn't that he didn't see your text. It's just that he hadn't texted back. That makes you look desperate. The next thing that makes you look desperate is when you text, he doesn't respond, and then you do a question mark. That makes you look desperate as hell. Do not do that. What you want to do is, if you text, you don't text till the fool responds. I don't care if it's another day. Because when you're dating a person, and we're going to get into how men view things, men want to know that you're not sitting around, the best way to attract a man is to be busy living your life. Busy doing your own thing. Busy, you've got your own life going on. Stop all that shit. I'm just keeping it real. Okay? Now, here's the other thing about texting. If you're texting a guy and he's hitting you back with the one word, LOL, or what, or wow, and that's all you get, then I would stop communicating with him. Basically, what's happening is he's not communicating with you. He's simply responding to you. And when somebody is responding to you, they're not communicating with you. And I would ditch it. Get rid of it. It ain't working. So that's number one, things that make you look desperate. Number two, and things that make you look desperate. Oh my goodness. When I wrote this down, I was like, yes. Y'all listen, let's avoid the where are we conversation in the first 30 days. I would even say the first 6 weeks. Let's avoid the where are we conversation. And see, here's the problem. What happens to most ladies, most women, the reason why is they want to, the reason why the where are you conversation is coming up is because you done let him hit it and split it. You gave up that booty, and now because you gave up that booty, and listen to me carefully, a woman's coochie is attached to her heart. So a woman can act like all day that if I give it to him, I ain't gonna get emotionally involved. Damn lie. You are going to get emotionally involved eventually. You might do it one or two things. I hear women say stuff like, I'm going to act like a man. I'm just getting mine. Okay, go ahead. Try to get yours. The problem is like I said, your coochie is attached to your heart. His is not. See, men look at sex a little bit differently than women. Okay, it's a physical thing. Now, I get it, women. Some women want to just get their groove on, but ultimately, it is a physical act that leads to emotional connection. And so when a woman starts to talk about where are we, the whole where are we in the first 30 days, and the man is like, I don't even really know you, but the reason you're having a conversation is because you're giving a piece of yourself that you shouldn't have gave that early. All right, I'm just keeping it 100. And so when you say, where are we? Well, give it time. Give that conversation time. I can see in 6-8 weeks, maybe, if you are doing the things that girlfriend and boyfriend or girlfriend and girlfriend or whatever you doing, if you're doing the things that people do in a relationship. Now, if we're doing those things in 6 to 8 weeks, I understand that question, where are we, what are we doing? But if we haven't even got to know each other, and y'all, I want you to look at your relationship and look at the flow of your relationship. If the flow of your relationship, meaning we only meet at 10 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night, booty call city, then the flow of our relationship is not one of relationships, but one of, we just hitting it. Okay, we just doing it. We just doing what we're doing. And so because of that, and I'm going to talk about that in a second, because that is the brand that you're putting out. That is the brand that he sees. Now, what happens is in our class, we're going to talk about how women a lot of times taint their personal brand. You have a personal brand, and a personal brand is based on the values, the messaging, the things that you're putting out, and you don't realize you're putting out a message that you don't want to put out, and this is what he's receiving. And when he behaves a certain way, now you get mad. But because that brand is putting out a certain message, then all of a sudden you can figure out, why is it that I'm getting this? Because your brand putting out that message. Okay, like I told you this. I told you, if you meet a guy, I said this on one of my lives, and you meet a guy after 11 all the time, and you wonder why he won't take you out, because you're meeting him after 11, all he sees you as pussy delivery girl. You're the pussy delivery girl, so that's what your brand says to me, so I'm going to call you at 11 o'clock. So we're going to talk about how you change your brand messaging. Your brand messaging. So let's avoid that, where are we in the first 30 days? So you get to know him and then look at the flow of your relationship. Are you conversing about things that matter? Do you have intimacy in the relationship? Intimacy is not sex. Intimacy is about asking questions, about conversation, about emotional connection, and getting to know the person. Is that happening? And now I'm looking at the flow of our conversation, and then maybe in 8 weeks, if our conversation is going that way, and we're doing the things that people in relationships do, now we can have that conversations. What are we doing? Where are we going? I get that. But to have that conversation right after we just smashed, and we don't even know each other. So listen, I'm going to give you this. Women are the gatekeepers to sex. Men are the gatekeepers to commitment. And so when you lose your leverage, when you give up your sex without ever asking for a commitment. And so that's just my take on that. Number three, all right, how do we look desperate? How do women look desperate? Number one, this is number three. Please, y'all, I need to scream this louder. Avoid the masculine energy. Avoid the masculine energy. See, I've been around so many women, and they say, well, I'm going to be me. I'm going to be me. I told his ass, blah, 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 blah. I said, hold up. I said, wait a minute. I said, where's all of that masculine energy that you have? See, every person, be it male or female, we both have equal and opposite. I have masculine energy and I have feminine energy. Women have masculine and feminine energy. But you don't want your masculine energy to be the dominant energy when you're around him. Here, I wrote this down. I was around someone, I was coaching someone the other day, a female, and she said, I told his ass, bah, 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 bah. I said, did you say it like that? And she said, I told him just like that. And so I said, what did he do? She said, he walked away. And I said, how often do you do that? And then she said, I do it all the time. I'm like, I ain't taking this. I said, wow. I said, you have this masculine energy all the time? You're always angry? He said, yeah. And I said, you wonder why he doesn't have a conversation with you? And I said, first of all, what men don't want, they don't want you to emasculate them. Okay. And it's what a lot of women do. Oh, I was on a live the other day, and I told somebody, I said, listen, the problem with a lot of people, Miss Independent, making money. I get it. You making money. You successful. Miss Independent is emasculating Mr. Right. Because you say things like, I don't need no man, that energy which you say it with, now it comes off as masculine energy, and I see you doing these things. That's the way it's received, and people don't even think about that, you know? And so I tell people, avoid phrases like this. You need to, You need to do this. You need to do that. You need to do this. Don't you hate it when somebody tells you you need to do something? So I often say to people, I said, if you want a man to do something, if a man sees masculine energy meeting masculine energy, that's going to be a problem. Because it's like another man telling me, you need to do this, bro. What the hell you say? Notice how that just came out just so natural, because that's what's happening when you're doing this. That's what's happening. So stop the masculine energy. Number 3. Number 4, y'all. Oh, number 4 to make you look desperate. I know you a down chick. I know you that ride or die chick. But first of all, number 1, avoid always paying for stuff. Avoid always paying for stuff. Listen. I know you want to be down, but a man has to sacrifice. A man has to work for something. If a man doesn't work for something, he's going to devalue it. And if he doesn't have to work for you, if he doesn't have to pay, because see, the way a man assesses something, a man assesses something's worth by how much he had to pay for it. A man will assess something's worth by how much he had to pay for it. How much time did he have to spend? How much time? What did he have to do? Did he have to change your tires? Did he have to come over and paint the house? Remember, he's paying for it. He has to pay for it. If you give it to him for free and he has not earned it, then he will devalue it. If you give him the cootie cat for free and he has not earned it, he will devalue it. And so I tell people this. I'm like, okay, stop trying to pay. You go on the first date with somebody, he's got to pay. Okay? I don't care. Listen, I don't care. If he can't afford to take you out, if he can't afford to pay, I'm okay with y'all sharing after a while, but he has to earn it. That's just our nature. If I don't earn it, I'm going to devalue it. Period. Number 5. Oh, number 5. This is good. This is really good. I wrote this down. I said, number 5, things that make you look desperate. Now, this is a big one. Do not meet him at his place or allow him to come to your place on the first date. I would say the first 2 dates. Why? Because when you go to his place, again, he didn't have to do anything. He didn't have to work for it. He didn't have to sacrifice for it. You come to his place, let's get this. That's a new phrase. Let's Netflix and chill. Netflix and chill. Even if in this pandemic time, quarantine time, we can still go to the park. We can still go to the park and you spend time there. Hey, even if we have to go on a drive, we drive to another city and we come back. The first 2 dates, y'all, because here's what's happening. Let's go back to the brand thing. The brand thing is this, is when you, a brand is simply this: who you are, what you do, what makes you different, and what's the messaging you're putting out. Okay? People think of brands like Target, Walmart, Neiman Marcus, FedEx. All of those are brands, but you're a brand too. And you don't think about it in terms of what messaging you're putting out, but you're putting out a message. You have core values. When you have a core value of, every brand has a core value, okay? Whether it's, so let's say FedEx, their core values, we got to get there overnight. Now they have FedEx Ground, but we got to get there overnight. You got to get it overnight. That's our value. We stand by that. You got to have something that you stand by, and you have to project that. You have to put that messaging out there, because if you don't have anything that you stand for and things that you stand against, then your brain gets tainted. And what's going to happen is it's not going to have the intended meaning that you desire. That's the reason why I tell people, look, Write out your deal breakers first. Write out the things that mean something to you first. Before you ever get in a relationship, just like your goals. My goals are splattered off. I could pull out 5 notebooks right under here with goals in it that I have. And if you look at I looked at my goals that I had like 6 months ago, I'm like, dang, I've reached 80% of those goals already during the pandemic. During it, because I created a blueprint. Now the blueprint is not always going to be right, but you just create the roadmap, start walking the roadmap. You might detour, but you're going to end up where you're going to go, because here's the thing. It doesn't matter how you get there. It matters that you get there. Okay? And so the way faith works is, faith works like this. You know, at night when we're driving a car, you know, our headlights only go 100 feet in front of us. But we have faith that if I keep driving down this path, that the next 100 feet will reveal itself. Okay? And I keep driving. The next 100 feet will reveal itself. And ultimately, then at night, I finally end up at my destination, because I trusted that if I keep going down this path, I'm going to get there. And that's what Melania and I tell people in our class that we're going to do, is you got to keep going down this path. And a lot of people are unwilling to invest in themselves. And I say, well, I don't want that kind of client, because if they're unwilling to invest in themselves, then they're unwilling to, they're not willing to do what it takes to get that which they desire. And so for me, I'm like, I don't want them as a client. And you shouldn't. You don't want a man or a woman who's unwilling to invest in you, unwilling to invest in the relationship. So that's why I tell people, write down your deal breakers beforehand. And the last one, y'all, dating mistakes that make you look desperate. The last one is being too available. Being too available, y'all. This is important because whenever you have something go, everybody, I got this thing, y'all. So check this. I used to coach this guy, and I used to coach 2 guys, and I used to tell them, I would pose this question to them, and I said, when is the best time to get a girlfriend? And they would say, huh? I said, when is the best time to get a girlfriend? And they say, I don't know. I said, when you got a girlfriend. They said, what? I said, the best time to get a girlfriend is when you got a girlfriend. Here's why it's psychological. I said, when you don't have anybody, ain't nobody pursuing you, right? But as soon as people know you have somebody, then all of a sudden you get cuter. All of a sudden you get more available. All of a sudden they're like, yo, they notice you. The same thing works here. Here's the same principle works with guys. When does a guy want you? When you act like you're not available. When you act like you're not available, when you got other things going on, now they want to spend time with you. Now they're like, wow, this is amazing. Who are you? Now all of those things, I always tell people, don't play hard to get, be hard to get. Don't play hard to get, be hard to get. Have stuff going on. Don't be so available. If he texts back, don't text back right away. If he calls you, don't call back. You are busy. Make a man know that, look, I got other options. You know what? Don't stop talking to other guys just because you just met a guy, you like a guy, he likes you. No, don't. Keep talking. Keep meeting people. Keep dating until it becomes exclusive, until he says it's exclusive. So that's what I want you to do. Stop being so available. These 6 things, y'all, these 6 things are the things that make you look desperate. I'm Ken Canion. I'm the host of Love, Lust, and Lies. That's been your lesson for today. Let's share this video with whoever, because there's some people out there who need this, y'all. We need to get this message out. All right? I'll see you guys. Y'all have a wonderful day. All right.